Get ready to take a look behind the scenes and enter the impossible for the Between Two Minds podcast with our hosts, Judge Mentalist and Bernardo Rodriguez. Can they really tell you what you're thinking?
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Hypnotist Judge Mentalist. I am coming at you with something that is a little different. Not really, but kind of. We are going to be previewing a talk for an upcoming Fringe Festival that I will not be performing at. And that is okay. I love to do this kind of stuff where we are showcasing and highlighting other performers, especially hypnotists when they are doing amazing things. And if you don't know by now, I love Fringe Festivals. I will be at the Barcelona Fringe Festival this upcoming October and November. Part of the reason why I won't be at this Fringe Festival. We are talking today, and I think for the first time, one of these streams for me is broadcasting both on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So we're going to see how that goes, especially the Instagram one, as I start to ramp up more of the interviews that I will be doing with other Barcelona Fringe Festival performers. If you are interested in that, go to carnivalofdreams.com. You're going to find out about my shows there, as well as the other performers that I will be interviewing over the next month and a half, so that you can learn more about their shows. But today we are going up to Scranton, Pennsylvania, the home of the American Office TV show. Not really. I mean, it was a piece of fiction, but if you've ever been to Scranton, you can totally believe that that show happened in a setting very much like that. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to leave most of this to him to describe who he is and what he does. But another hypnotist, Joe, the Hypnotic Jester. Good afternoon, Joe. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm always happy to talk about to other Fringe performers. I'm always happy to talk to other hypnotists, and here we are. You've checked both of those boxes, so
awesome.
winner, chicken dinner. So yeah, this is relatively local for you, correct?
It is actually. I'm in a small town called West Pittston. So let me take these off and get a little clear. I'm in a small town of West Pittston, so it's literally right in between Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and Scranton, Pennsylvania. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump away just to get to Scranton. So yeah, it's funny though, because like you had stated, people are like, "Oh, I've never heard of West Pittston," and you go Scranton, and they go, "Oh, The Office." That's it. That's the easiest way to always identify our area. So it's pretty cool that we have that reference, because it's not for bad reasons, you know. So yeah,
always good to have a reference point somewhere. My most prominent reference point actually is a colleague of mine that I went to undergrad with, who grew up in Pittston. So It's an area that I'm actually quite familiar with. I've been there a number of times over the past. Well, I'm not going to age myself. We'll just let you look at me and make your own guesses about that. So let's talk about something that I absolutely love to talk about, and that is hypnosis.
Awesome.
Tell us about your show in general. Let's talk about your background, how you got into all of this stuff, and then we will slowly make our way into talking about these shows that you're doing at the Scranton Fringe Festival specifically.
Okay, so I'll give a little background on myself. I've been studying hypnosis probably close to 15 years, if not longer. You know, I've read every book and from the, you know, hypnotherapy aspect as well as performance-wise. Watched all the videos. I know a good amount of history on the topic. Did it for quite a while prior to performing.
Clinically.
No, actually just reading and
okay.
Parties and stuff. Never did the therapy part or clinically part. That's in the future. I don't have the time for it now. I have a full-time job. This is kind of my part-time. But you know, I studied it for quite a while. Played around with it just like everybody kind of does, and you do parties and stuff like that. And then actually I studied under Richard Barker, which a lot of people know.
Yeah, I know Richard.
Yeah, and I also studied under Justin Tran. So we had like two completely different approaches to hypnosis, which was pretty awesome. Richard was my driving force to getting me on stage and performing, and I've loved every moment of it since then. He was that kick that I kind of needed. But prior to that, I did magic shows, and I studied acting, improvisation. So, I did kind of take a different approach than some people do. Like you said, some people start clinically. I just went straight into the performance aspect of it. And but theater was always my number one thing. I studied it in college as well. So, the stage is not a mysterious place to me. I love it there. And this was a new way of doing it. You can only do so many magic shows that you just, you're kind of like, all right, enough. I got to do something different. And that's me. I got sometimes, and I hate saying this, but I have the attention span of a pea sometimes. So that's what's great about hypnosis for me.
Yeah.
Every show is completely different, as you know. I could sit here and do the same suggestions every time, but if you have different volunteers, they have different ways of viewing it. And that's what I love every moment. I'm entertained with it, so, and that's what I enjoy.
Yeah. That is probably one of the things that really had me fall in love with it so hard, so fast, because I too was performing mentalism for a number of years, and it's you've got that audience interaction in a mentalism show and a lot of the stuff that you're doing with magic, but it's still, you're kind of locked in a bit of a tunnel. There's only so many ways this could go. There's only so much of your audience member and participants' personalities that you really get to highlight when you're doing those types of shows. But here in the hypnosis shows, it's all them all day, all the time. And it gets just, it can be special sometimes.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you. And it's nice because you can change it up like just the snap of a finger, literally sometimes. It just, if that one routine is getting stale or old, you just change your wording, you move on. It's the greatest thing in the world. You don't have to go buy something like in magic, buy it or build it or something. You just, your imagination could go wild. And that's what really kind of pulled me into it. My friend, his name's Keith Carcutt. He is a hypnotist, and he was the first hypnotist I had ever seen out here in the Poconos. Okay. And he did a lot of the resorts and stuff. And I've been very fortunate that he kind of took me under his wing as well when I started showing more interest in the performing aspect of it. And it just amazed me. He just, it's so unique. And I find it funnier and funnier. I never realized how many people weren't familiar with what a comedy hypnosis show was. The more, especially with the Fringe, I'm out there, I'm putting posters up all over the place, and they're like, I see the word comedy, but can you explain how comedy and hypnosis go together? Interesting. And I think that's fascinating to me. And I'll sit there and I'll explain it. And, if I have to give an example of it, I could do that as well. It's nice to bring something a little bit newer to this area. I was actually surprised, and I know I've followed you for quite a while with all your fringe festivals and performing, and I was surprised Scranton didn't have one. When I went back and looked at the history, and maybe they did in the past, but they're building up, and I'm like, this is my opportunity here. Let's grab it. It's right in my backyard.
Yeah, so, awesome. Yeah, it's how long have they been doing that Fringe?
I talked to someone, I want to say it's close to 10 to 15 years is from what I understood. Someone had told me that they remember starting out with them in the very beginning, and that was like 10, 15 years ago. So it's grown quite a bit. They've definitely taken over Scranton, and a lot of venues are now getting more involved, which is nice too. So
yeah, so for anybody out there who's watching this somehow, maybe you haven't seen any of my broadcasts in the past talking about these. If you are unfamiliar with what a fringe festival is. This is something that happens all over the world. I mentioned the ones that I'm going to be doing in Barcelona. This all started in Edinburgh, Scotland, and they happen all over the world. And it's basically this multicultural, multidisciplinary festival. They block off a period of time. Some of them are just for a week, some for a couple of weekends, some maybe just for a weekend. Edinburgh does it for an entire month, maybe a little more than a month some years. They're Australia has some of them that go for 2 months, and they bring in all of these different artists from all over the world. There are magicians, comedians, occasionally hypnotists if you're lucky. My opinion, and if you go to his show, it'll be yours soon too. It will certainly be. If you go and you volunteer, I can almost promise you it will be your favorite thing to do. You will be seeking out other hypnosis shows because you'll just, so many people just love that experience and the refreshingness of it. But so all of these different things all at once. So, we're having this talk to talk about your shows, but definitely go to the Scranton Fringe website, or if you're somehow watching this from somewhere else in the world, find out where there's a fringe festival near you. Take a look at what other performers are there, because it's a really awesome thing that when they do them, they usually do them once a year and for a finite period of time. How many venues? Do you know how many different venues are at? I know you're performing in one, but
I know that there was, I want to say 10 to 15, but I don't even think that's doing it justice. I know that there's a lot. This is the first year that they're using this particular venue that I'll be in. But I know that the local college is involved. What's really cool about this is, and I'm excited for this because I'm a big nerd when it comes to 3D mapping on the exterior of the buildings and everything. And they're going to be doing one of the buildings right in Scranton. So I want to be there for that and check it out because I just absolutely love the technology that involves. So I know that in the past they've had tents around the area. So, but hard brick and mortar buildings, I want to say 10 to 15 is, I believe, the amount. If you go right on their website, scrantonfringe.org, I know that they have the whole schedule listed there, the locations, check it out. It's really cool. They are a very well organized event. I give them a lot of credit. I have been talking some other fringes and they're just not as responsive as this one is. And I couldn't be more excited to work with them.
Yeah, I've had, I'm not going to name names, but I have had mixed results, responses, and otherwise with the various fringes that I have done over the years. I will say Barcelona so far has been spectacular, and the way that they run theirs. And here's the thing, if you're a performer and you're considering this as a venue, they all run so differently. Yeah. Some of them are on a lottery, and you have no idea whether you're going to get in or not until everybody finds out here's who's performing. Yeah. Some of them you are restricted to only do one show in one venue, even though you may be doing multiple times of that show. You have 3 shows, correct, that you're doing?
3 shows, yes. I have one on the 3rd. I have a 7:30, and then on the 4th, they gave me a 3:30 and a 7:30. So
fantastic.
I was shocked. I really was when they said, "Hey, this is what we're giving you." I was like, I couldn't be more appreciative of it. I really could. Hey, if they gave me one, I'd be appreciative just to be a part of the event. So, yeah, it's pretty neat.
Excellent. So, scrantonfringe.org. The tickets to these shows are $15. How big is the venue that you're performing in? How many seats?
They did not give me the exact amount. It is larger. What I was explained to me. So if you look at the address, it's actually in the Electric City Trolley Museum. So what they're doing is they're transforming that into a theater. So they are taking one of the trolleys out of one of the bays, putting a full performance with full lights, full sound, everything inside of that venue. And I know that those bays are pretty big. They set this room up for I want to say there's well over 100 seats easily to put in there, if not more. They use it for parties, events, and stuff of that nature. So I know the space is there. But I'm excited because it's a unique performance.
Yeah.
You know, and to be in a trolley museum, especially in the Electric City. You know, this is our history up here, and you know, to be in that space, it really excited me. But I know that they're going to have a large amount of seating in there. They will be selling tickets at the door. They'll have a box office right at the door, as well as you can purchase online too.
Don't listen when the word gets out, and this is not me talking to you, Joe. This is me talking to anybody watching this. When the word gets out that there is a hypnosis show at this festival, the tickets will move. Yeah. Do not expect to show up at the door and there to be tickets available. You might get lucky, but I highly recommend getting those tickets in advance. They're only $15, and you know, it seems like 100 seats is quite a bit, but that goes quick because a lot of people hypnosis show. And this is my advice to anybody listening and watching. Get some friends, get some family members, get some coworkers. I mean, seriously, you want something to talk about the next week at work, bring some coworkers, encourage some of them to get up on stage. And if you don't, and I know I'm talking to some people out there. In fact, inevitably, when I post content online, every couple of days, I get somebody on there wanting to say, oh, this isn't real. It's BS. It's whatever. You've paid these actors. Boy, oh boy, do I wish. I wish these venues paid me enough money to be able to even consider paying actors to be on these shows. I still wouldn't do it. I don't need to. But I will say this. If you have never seen one of these shows, if you are skeptical about it, mount up a big group of people, because inevitably one of them, maybe more, are going to want to go up on that stage, and you will see this snap, this light switch just go off with that friend, that family member, neighbor, whoever it might be. Bring an enemy. I don't care. That's going to make it even more fun. And you will think you're watching an absolutely different person, because their inner child, that personality that they have been hiding deep down inside, it's going to be saying, hey, knock, knock, let me out. And that is just the amazing wonder of what you're going to see here on stage. And I guarantee you, if you are a non-believer and somebody that you know goes up there on stage, you're going to have a change of opinion too.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah, I've seen some amazing things with people that, you know, even family members that came up and they're like, no, this isn't real. And then they were the stars of the show, and it was amazing to watch them. And to this day, years later, they still talk about it. And with them knowing I'm going to be at the Fringe, they're talking it up big time. And I'm very excited that they are, because I guarantee it's going to be a great time.
October 3rd, October 4th, you got 3 opportunities to see this great show. Is this a new show for the Fringe, or is this something that you've been performing? It doesn't, and keep in mind, no matter what the answer to this question is, it doesn't matter, because all 3 of these shows, I highly recommend going to the first one. And if there's tickets available, you're going to want to go to one of the other ones, because
all of them are going to be slightly different.
Yeah, you're going to want to go up there on stage if you don't in the first show that you see, or you might want to go back, or maybe you go up on stage and say, hey, now I want to see it from the other perspective. So, you know, don't shy away from seeing this show more than once if that's, you know, in your budget. But also check out, obviously, some of the other performances. How long does this Fringe run? Is it a full week? Is it 2 weeks?
It starts on the 25th. It ends on the 5th. So I'm right at the tail end almost on that. So that Sunday will be the very last day for performances. So yeah, it's about, what is that? Roughly close to a week.
Yeah, 10, 11 days, something like that. Yeah, so good. So even more so, if you are watching this in advance, go get your tickets, because the way that Fringe festivals work, Sometimes they take a couple of days to really warm up. People come to the area. And then once you get in there, you get the program, you start seeing other shows. People are going to be buying these tickets in advance. It is what happens, especially with you being on the tail end of the Fringe. That is a, quite frankly, a prime spot, weekend, tail end of the Fringe. Absolutely amazing. So scrantonfringe.org, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, check it out. The tickets are there. There's VIP packages available as well. That'll give you some different opportunities as well. So yeah,
beautiful,
check it out.
wonderful. Yeah, and if you just go there, there's a little search box. Just type in hypnosis. It'll find it. He's the only hypnotist there. So really great stuff. Also, if you're seeing this, I'm going to make sure that in the bottom there is a link that goes directly to that page. And then once you buy tickets to Joe's show, if you see, you can navigate the site from there and buy other stuff that you want to do for all of those shows. Seriously, I highly recommend, if there's something that you want to see, get the tickets in advance, because once the train gets rolling, that's a very appropriate metaphor here for where you'll be performing. Once the train gets rolling, it might be too late, and you don't want to be there and not be able to see these amazing shows. So
Very true.
Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great run. And hold on a second. We got a little bit. Oh, okay. That's a comment that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Yeah. The staple guns. In my mentalism routine, I have a routine in the show that I use that involves staple guns. And yes, they are very, very real. Sometime in the next couple of weeks, I actually performed this past weekend at the Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. This is totally off topic. So if you're jumping out of here and going to get your tickets to the Hypnotic Jester at Scranton Fringe and don't listen to the rest of this, that is a-okay by me. But they had me do a performance there, and I did the staple gun routine, and there's going to be some clips of that because it was really special the way that went this weekend. So so scrantonfringe.org, get those tickets, have a great time. And I am trying, it is my daughter's birthday, so it's a difficult sell, but I'm working on getting up there to see your early show on the 4th. So hopefully we can meet face to face. And I'm even more kind of enthralled and wanting to look forward to this venue and how they've transformed it. So scrantonfringe.org, run out there, grab your tickets while they're still there. And maybe you'll see a familiar face or two there.
That would be great.
All right. Have a great day. Be well out there. And we'll see you next time.